Right, gentlemen, so today, at the request of a friend, I've decided I'm going to make a tutorial on how I make my Ancient Warfare 3 animations. Now, before we actually get to the animating part, you're going to need two things: recording software and an editing software. For me, I use OBS Studio and DaVinci Resolve. Those work perfectly, they're both free. You can get OBS on Steam and DaVinci simple to use. There's plenty of tutorials, but if you need anything, you can ask in the comments. So without further ado, before we go into anything, we're going to need an idea for our animation. So what we're going to do is we're going to shamelessly rip off a movie franchise. Or you could try and make something unique based off something that's already made in Ancient Warfare 3. So what we'll do now is we will make our units. Now it doesn't have to be anything fancy. What I do is I have a sort of style. Now you can use your own style, it works fine. Now, other people have made Ancient Warfare animations before me, but I just thought I'd make a little tutorial on how I make them. Now I will leave basically some videos in the description on stuff that I've made. So what we're going to do is we're going to do passive. Now we'll do, ignore my folders, animation tutorial. So we'll have chef guy. So we've got this little chef dude. Don't know what he's going to do. Then, now, what I recommend you do before this is you either watch something beforehand to get an idea of what you want to make, or you actually just write it down. If you're going to shamelessly copy something, or just rip off a movie franchise and make it in Ancient Warfare 3, or if you're going to try and recreate a scene from a movie franchise, well I highly suggest you watch the movie, or whatever. Just an example. But what I'm going to do here is I'm literally just slapping together some units real quickly. Right, I'm going to give them some rubber boots and this. It doesn't have to be that important. Now if you want to go all in, you can actually make some props and stuff for this. So, call this dude Bob. So we'll go into the custom battle editor and we'll work on a little set. Now for the sake of, for the sake of sanity, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go build a little set, table, concrete window. Now what I'm going to do is I'll have basically, at the end of this video, I'll do a thing that edits in all the different steps that you'll want to take during this process. Now if you have any questions in the comments about this, just leave them and I will answer them.
Cup of tea's ready.
Now I'll answer them. So here we go. I'll just place down some rugs.
UK Children's Charity.
So basically, gonna put the chairs here. So chair goes there, and poster. Where was it, Adam, on the afternoon poster? Here we go. Now this shameless plug, go watch that on YouTube, or just look at my channel. So I'll just have these in the background as props. So here we go. Do some crates. Now I spend a lot more time working on sets for this, or well, not for this, but for stuff. Like what I recommend you do is you make the sets before actually working on the thing.
No, he didn't mention anything.
So yeah, just smack that down there. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the most painful pro. Now what we're going to do, we're going to get our little chef guy. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get him here. Now his little standing pose. Now one thing I recommend is you sort of get the hand of the passive unit editor. So just have a little chef dude. Now we'll just make this a short animation. Now we'll have this dude. Now I'll make this a little comedic one. So what you now? One thing you can do is you could do voice acting for it, or you could just use text. Either way works fine. If you do voice acting though, beware. It's a double-edged sword, because you could get other people to do it for you, which is amazing, but then that requires working with other people. Or you could do it all yourself, which can be fun, but it's gonna be a bit confusing for the viewer. So I'm just gonna have a little chef guy here. Now this is a looping animation. This loops. Now, well, I'll go over the passivator. Select pose. This lets you select different poses. Insert preset. Well, that inserts a preset. Loop once, make it happen once. Reverse will make it happen well in reverse, obviously. Loop well makes it loop. End makes the animation end, and he just resumes back to the starting phase. End and kill makes it do die at the end of the thingy. I mainly use end for a lot of my clips, but loop can work fine if you have a decent animation that repeats a few times. Now speed like this, if we go like that, speed will decrease. Frames, well, if you want a lot of frames for your dude, if you want to go really high tech, well, not high tech, but really high quality, then you can have all these different frames and create something extremely solid. Well, not solid, but smooth. But for our purposes, 100 will do fine. Save lets you save an animation preset. I've got loads here for different things. A lot of them from my animations. The delete keyframe lets you delete a keyframe. The copy thing, the copy pose lets you copy a pose and paste it. Now what I do a lot of the time is I load up an old unit, copy its pose, do this, get the basic, which just is a dude standing like this. Now I actually forgot to save my previous one, so we'll just quickly redo that. Remember, always save your stuff. And once you've got something in the editing software, always take backups. If you've got a YouTube channel, upload it to YouTube as unlisted. Because I worked on a big project, and I deleted the file for it, so I had to stitch it all back together, and it was a painful experience. But I learnt a lot from that. Don't make the same mistake I did. You will go insane. So we're gonna have like this dude. We'll do a little simple story of like the dude's crying. Now I could use the preset crying animation, but I think it's better if we just make our own, so you get the hang of things. Now I'm not the best at making passives. I've only gotten better recently, but don't beat yourself up if your animations don't look like a COD trailer. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. So we're then going to have, after that, so we're just going to have it loop a bit. So, yeah. So we've got a little dude crying. Actually, let's... an old technique. If you want like some spaghetti on the floor. Now, I didn't invent this technique. I think Dancing Engie did. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. Boom! He spilt his spaghetti. So now this silly fella. What do we want this silly fella to do? Now we're gonna give him a bazooka, and we're gonna do a funny with him. What we're gonna do? We're gonna get the transform tool, and we're gonna do that. That lets you actually move the passive. This is a new feature. So for those of you that haven't played Ancient Warfare 3 in a while, this will be new to you. The new passive thing. So that's fine. I'll let you get the hang of it. So then I'll have him do that. And then, so basically, he will now, so what we'll do is we're just going to now always put it on none, because none's, well, easier. So the dude's crying, he's dropped his spaghetti. And we'll look at this. You've got a short little animation, but I think it would be a bit mean if I didn't teach you lot what I do for walk cycles. And of course, there's another thing I have to deal with. Scripting. This is an important part. Basic rundown. This is the start tool. This is where a lot of things start. So, example, start. Passive. wait, play anim. For the purposes of this, I'll bring these up because they're important. This one is very important. If you want, now one thing you'll notice in a lot of editing software is once you've recorded it, the little play button drops down, but not fully. So part of the animation will have already played. This works so you can actually pause the animation of a character. Now this is not new. This is scripting. This has been in for a decent while. Just had to check if a friend had left VC. Right, okay. So then we'll delay. We'll do like a delay. We'll do like 0.5 because that's when the little drop down HUD thing's gone. And then we'll do play anim, and it'll play these passive animations. But now what we're gonna do is we're gonna change. Now we're gonna have this dude as bazooka. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a little walk cycle. Now he's already moved forward, so he's got, as you see, he's going to like spring his legs out. But what I do now is I go forward a little bit, do that a bit, do that a bit. Now you'll get the hang of these animations. If you need a bit of a hand with anything, I'll probably do a separate video on walk cycles, but for our purposes here today, it should be fine. So there we go. Now I have a little red light here, just in case. Now none. So we've got our little scene. So here we go. Now one thing you will notice, there's a little bar at the top. Now this bar's going to be annoying, so we're going to want to get rid of that. Custom battle editor. Right, scripting. HUD. If I'm right, this should just completely delete that. Please be right. Yeah, that fully deletes that. So there you go. You've made an H1 for free animation. So we will now cut to the editing software.